All right. Hello, everyone. We got to talk about these service cuts taking place on the Long Island Railroad starting a week from Monday, March 8th. I am very disturbed about these service cuts. Let me just center the screen for a second. That's better. I just don't know what else is there to say about these cuts. I'm going to try to go over them as much as I can. I'm going to save these PDFs of the February schedule and the March schedule because I know I'm going to have to do some more research on what's going on here. But when I look at these schedules, and the majority of them are, again, I don't know what else is there to say about this. You know, where's the railroad even making these excuses on ridership? I'll get to those numbers in a second because I have to Google that because I don't even know where that link is at the moment. For an example, when I look at the schedules, I'm noticing huge big things right now, okay? Number one, there's huge gaps in service on certain stations along the Babylon branch. One example is Merrick. Another example, the Port Washington branch. And there's a good excuse the Port Washington branch is losing its half-hourly service. That's because they're doing concrete tie work between Metz Willets Point and Bayside. That's a whole different story. However, I noticed one thing about Mineola and Hicksville that I will disclose in the video going along here. But I will just mention right now that I'm going to be leaving a voicemail for the governor later today. As far as elected officials locally in Queens, because I'm going to get them involved as well. First thing Monday, I am going to be reaching out to my city councilman, James Gennaro. I will also be reaching out to State Senator John Liu's office. And I will also be reaching out to Assemblywoman Nili Rosick first thing Monday morning about these cuts. Because I know I'm not going to bother them on the weekend about this. Absolutely not. Alright? Especially when my Assemblywoman is observing Shabbos. Alright? I don't want to disturb her during the weekend. But that's what I'm doing first thing Monday. And I know Matt Camper did a video. And I know Matt reached out to his elected officials in Nassau County. However, the good news is I let my friend know in Mineola that her service is not going to be impacted. So at least she's getting half-hourly service. John's from Pine Power LI is getting half-hourly service. So Mineola and Hicksville, for an example, they're not losing their half-hourly service. And I'll get to that as we go along here. But I'm telling you, I know a lot of people in Great Neck. And I haven't reached out to this person in Great Neck, but I'll try to by next week. But Great Neck's only getting hourly service. And a lot of stations on the PWB overall, because of this concrete tie work, are getting hourly service. And, if I have to go see my doctor and I don't have my dad, able to take me to see the doctor, you think I want to deal with the N20G after that incident on Northern Boulevard? No. And I also will mention, I was on the phone with Andrew Lee about this for 45 minutes last night. My friend in Glen Oaks. He's appalled by this because a lot of service on the Hempstead line, he has his exercise class in Brooklyn. This is really going to hurt him in terms of trying to get over to Brooklyn over at Atlantic Terminal. And let's say this was a normal circumstance and COVID wasn't in the picture and the railroad were to make all these drastic cuts. I looked at the nice bus schedule, and let me tell you, folks, I am just, again, very disturbed that there's big gaps where I couldn't even make the Long Beach train with nice bus. And then I'll get to that as we go along as well. But let's look at the ridership numbers first. Ridership. See if it comes up. So, you can go on the MTA's website. You can even Google it. And you can look at the ridership numbers yourself. And I'll have this tab later on when I need to look up the N25 schedule. But here's the subway. Right? Here's the subway. Yeah, I know the subway is small, and I get that right now. And I'm still hoping to go back to the system in a few months whenever I get my vaccine. But still, the ridership is down in 1 sense. But I'm going to go into the reasons why they need to start increasing service. And there's a lot of reasons why they should. And then look at this. Buses. Look at the bus schedules. In terms, not bus schedule, just bus ridership, excuse me. I mean, I'm just beyond exhausted looking at this. I mean, I could barely get to sleep last night thinking how this is logically happening. And here's the Long Island Railroad. Long Island Railroad, look at this. I'm telling you, folks, we need to send a message to the railroad. We got to get that number up to 100,000 people running a day. Where are the 25,000 people in Long Island that normally would take the railroad? Come back! Please! Let's send the railroad a message. Maybe even Queens and Brooklyn can get involved too with this. It's a big favor to ask, but we have to send the railroad a message this week. Please! I mean, I know I can't, but other people who have the availability to get out, you know, we have to send the MTA a message this week. So at least look at this, 75,000 people. It's slowly coming back. It's slowly coming back. Metro North, for an example. Look at Metro North. They're running 60% of their service right now. Metro North slowly coming back too. And you know why more people are coming back? Because Madison Square Garden, the Barclays Center, they're allowing fans back. You have indoor dining in New York City at 35%, so people are coming back to New York City. Then you have Lincoln Center, for an example. In April, they're supposed to be hosting events. And then, what else? I'm trying to think. Broadway may be coming back in the spring. So, that's a factor. And then how are people supposed to get to their vaccine appointments? The railroad doesn't have any logic here. None. Whatsoever. You don't see this happen in New Jersey. New Jersey's not even cutting any service. That's because you have a person like Kevin Corbett who cares. He cares about his customers. And I'm looking forward to speaking to Kevin Corbett again next week. You know, because New Jersey has a better attitude about things than New York does, in a sense, when it comes to their public transit system. So we're going to get in these schedules. And as I said, I am going to be contacting my local elected officials on Monday. Because they should know what's going on here. Especially my city councilman. Because imagine somebody told James Scanero that City Field's not going to have enough service transporting people to get vaccines. Or What if the Mets are allowing fans and all of a sudden, you know, they can't accommodate people? Citi Field. And I will mention, my city councilman's a diehard Mets fan. He would be devastated about this. James loves the Mets. So, believe me, we're going to start off with, I think, the biggest loser in all of this, and that happens to be the Babylon branch. And why am I saying the word loser? For an example, loser is just a hurtful word. Let's say it's an insultful word. I would never say a word like that. But why am I saying that word? Very carefully. I never would say anything that wouldn't be off color on my end. But take a look at this. Take a look at this. Notice something is wrong with the schedule starting March 8th? Do you notice something is wrong here? I'll tell you what's wrong. Look at this. Where's the PM? Where is the PM? Yeah, here's the PM. Here's the PM. Looking for the PM. Okay, let's see. This is eastbound. Okay. Looking for westbound. Let's go to westbound. So, I'm just double checking this for an example. I mean, look how much big of a gap service this is. Look at this. You think this is okay? Where's the PM peak? Wow, what did they do to this schedule? All they have is AM peak. What's going on here? Did they update the schedules? Yeah, it says 244. Yeah, see, here's the biggest gap in service. Merrick, for an example. 244. 348. 448. For an example. Yet, why is Belmore getting more trains? This to me doesn't make any sense. Look at this. You have to wait a whole hour for service at stations like Massapequa Park, Seaford, Wantagh, Belmore. Not Belmore, Merrick, excuse me. Look at Belmore for an example. Look at Belmore. Belmore gets more frequent service. But yet Merrick doesn't? Rockville Center for an example. Look at that. And then look how much of a big gap in service this is in the PM. 5 p.m., 7 p.m. This is basically like a weekend schedule, if you ask me. And then eastbound for an example. Let's look at Lynbrook for an example. 11:05 a.m. I'll show you the nice bus schedule. I'll show you how hard this would be if I was coming from Long Island Jewish. I would show you how hard this would be. This would be my worst nightmare. Okay, I can't print a page unless, let's see. I'll open a PDF. Okay, here's the PDF. Okay, here we go. Great Neck to Lynbrook. Right, here's Long Island Jewish. This is on a weekday. Right? Here we go. Long Island Jewish, 10:49. Oops, that's the Great Neck one. Where's the Long Island Jewish one? I'm gonna be making so many mistakes like Pine Power did. Okay, here we go. 10:46 a.m. This would be my bus. Okay? If I was a Long Island Jewish in a normal circumstance, I would be doing one thing, right? I could just go into the building, get into the library, get on the Nice Bus website, because those computers are very fast, even though it's Windows 7. The internet speed's decent for a hardwire, but I would be wondering, when's the bus leaving Great Neck? Then I'd have enough time to get ready to walk out to Lakeville and then get the bus southbound. So, 10:46, right? This means I'd have to wait literally. Look, see from Limbrook? Here's Limbrook. 11:05 a.m. That means I'm stuck in Limbrook for an hour if I want to head east on the Babylon branch. I'm stuck in Limbrook for a whole hour, for almost an hour. Versus the normal schedule, I would maybe have to wait a few extra minutes. So the MTA didn't even contact Transdev. No consideration for the passengers like me who need the transfer to the railroad. None whatsoever. None! And let's go to Long Beach for an example. Alright, because I could go to East Rockaway, Island Park, Long Beach for an example on a normal weekday, right? Okay? What's out of this tab? Let's go to Long Beach for an example. Long Beach. Now, take a look at this. 11:25 would be... Oops, that's the AM. Right, here's the AM. Wait a minute, they changed the... Right. This is the Babylon schedule. 11:05. Yeah, see, that's 11:25 right there. See? I'll show you. Right there. 11:25. See? I would miss the train to Long Beach, and I would have to wait a whole hour. Trying to get to Long Beach. By the way, I'm noticing there's 3 buses today. Randomly looking at that for a second on the Nice Bus website. How is that acceptable? And then, let's take a look at Port Washington. Now, you would think that in order to accommodate people going to get vaccines at Citi Field, they would have half-hourly train service. Nope. Show you why. Take a look at this. Here we go. Link to the light. Yep, they're doing concrete chai installation work. And this was in the committee book from what Matt Camper had told me. But overall, it's hourly service. Here's the example, right? Let's do Auburndale Osnum Hall for an example, right? Because technically, Auburndale Station serves Osnum Hall Nursing Home. I mean, look how much... This is hourly train service. 10:44, 11:44, 12:44, 1:44. Yep. Yep. So, I don't know how could they get away with this. I really don't. Really don't have an answer for you folks. But it's hourly service. Even Great Neck. Look at Great Neck for an example. 55 past the hour. See? 55 past the hour. See? 55, 55, 55, 55. Then let me just take a look. Yeah, they don't even have peak. So, what were they thinking when they made the schedule? This is not supposed to promote social distancing on a train. No. Okay, let's take a look at the regular circumstance. Okay? Now look at this. Let me give you an example of how hard it would be if I was coming from New Hyde Park and I needed service to Wollaston Park. I have to deal with Nice Bus. I would have to take the N22. And then if I were to go to Jamaica, here's the problem. I would have to rely on the 249 train and then be in Jamaica at 3:30, and I have to deal with rush hour traffic on the 3031. That's not a good situation right there. This is huge gaps in service on the Oyster Bay line. The Oyster Bay line is going to be running every 2 hours. Every 2 hours. Okay? And look how disgraceful this is on the Oyster Bay line. You're only getting one train direct to Penn Station. Only one train direct, which is the 6:51 a.m. departure from Oyster Bay. The rest you have to change at Jamaica. And then eastbound, for an example, look at eastbound. You only get one train eastbound from Penn Station that leaves at 5:31 p.m. The rest you have to change at Jamaica, but still every 2 hours except that Penn train that leaves at 5:31. But you're going to see how much service Mineola is going to get. And if right at the end of this video, I'm saving the best for last. You'll be very surprised to see how much service Mineola, for an example, is getting for the service. Right, let me just check West Hempstead quickly. Let me check West Hempstead. Okay, so few changes for the West Hempstead line. We need to note. West Hempstead. Yeah, West Hempstead's getting double crossed too. Wow, look at this. Peak. 429 train. This is the only train they're getting every day on the West Hempstead line that goes direct to Penn Station, from Penn Station to West Hempstead. 4:29 p.m. train. Right? Goes express to Jamaica, then goes right to St. Albans. Then, yeah, I'll zoom in so you can see it. Take a look at this. See? St. Albans. 4:29 train. 5:01 to St. Albans. 4:52 to Jamaica. Westwood, Malvern, Lakeville, Lakeview, Hempstead Gardens, and then West Hempstead. So, remember, rest of the trains, you have to change at Valley Stream. And remember, I will mention this. The 211 train from Penn to Long Beach, which was my normal express train to Jamaica when I would link up with the Q30, Q31 to Fresh Meadows. The issue is, now that you still do not have that 211 train, now you don't have that connection for the West Hempstead train at Valley Stream. That Long Beach train, right after Jamaica, went right to Valley Stream, and people would get off of Valley Stream and go right there and then change. Let me see for the westbound. What train are they getting? Yeah, they only get one train. They only get one train on the peak, which is the 7:40 a.m. train. Goes right to St. Albans, then goes right to Jamaica. See? This train right here. Alright. Let me see what else I gotta get into. Let me check the Montauk line. I mean, I don't want to go too in-depth, but I'm just giving a few specific examples for weekdays. Okay? Let me see if we have any diesel trains that at least go to Spionk in the morning. Nope. You have to change it, Babylon. Oh, wait. My bad. I'm looking for the morning. Yep. Change it, Babylon. Or Jamaica. Ugh. I hate doing that voice, but under these circumstances... Now look at this. And then look... I'm just trying to see how much service Spionk's even getting. Man, look at Spionk. They are getting double-crossed. And then Patrog's only getting service every hour. Eastbound, for an example, only every hour. Except 5 o'clock, 5:44, 6:02. Yep. So at least Patrog's getting some half-hourly service on the peak. In a sense. But, just looking at Spionk, man, I really do feel bad for you guys in Spionk. You're supposed to be getting frequent service on weekdays. Look how much of a big of a back Spionk's getting. Spionk's normally a busy station. Unbelievable what they're doing to Spionk. And then you have a bigger gap in the Hamptons. So, I don't even want to disclose that. And then let me just check Hempstead and then Far Rockaway for an example. And City Terminal. Let me check these three. Okay, here we go. Let me check to see if any service to Penn is getting impacted. Yep. Like I figured. Look at this. Penn Station. 4:15. Only one train leaving direct from Penn to Hempstead at 4:15. Right there. Right there. Then, westbound, for the peak, you only get one train, which is the 6:40 a.m. 6:40 a.m. Look at that. 6:40. This is only one train that goes direct to Penn. Everything else, you have to change to Jamaica. Otherwise, you're stuck going to Atlantic Terminal. 41 past the hour westbound. Right? For arriving. And then Atlantic Terminal, 45... Yeah. Is it 45 past the hour? Almost around that time. Yeah. Oh, then they changed it. Yeah, 4:07, 5:07, 6:07, 7:07. Westbound. And then eastbound. Yeah. Like I figured. So it's 45 past the hour. Wow. And let me check Far Rockaway for an example. I'm hoping they're not bunching together Far Rockaway and Hempstead trains to Atlantic. Alright, here's the Far Rockaway branch. Westbound in the morning. According to this, I'm seeing 5:43 a.m. The peak goes to Penn Station. Okay, there we go. Then you have 7:20 a.m. train goes right to Penn. Okay. Wow, so they're only getting 2 trains. Wow. Just wow. And then let me see on the peak. Yep, 2 trains to go Yeah, one train. Look at that. One train. One train? Nope. None. Not on the Far Rockaway branch. Nope. None. But yet in the morning, why is Far Rockaway getting direct service to Penn Station at 5:43 and then 7:20? So that doesn't make any sense. You're only getting direct service from Far Rockaway to Penn in the morning with 2 trains, but yet in the afternoon, you're not getting any direct service. You'd used to be able to maybe get 1 train or 2 trains from Far Rockaway to Penn in the afternoon. All right. And let me just check City Terminal, and then we'll go to the main line to wrap this up. Okay. So I'm just checking right here. Okay. So this isn't that bad. Okay. From Brooklyn to Jamaica, for an example. All right. So, this is a 20-minute gap. I'm noticing that. Okay. So overall, there's a 20 to 30-minute gap of service between Brooklyn and Queens, eastbound. And then westbound, let me take a look here. Yeah, see, it's not that much of a bad gap in service in terms of City Terminal. So City Terminal technically now is in a tie for Mineola and Hicksville. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. Let's take a look at the Port Jefferson schedule. And then the Ronkonkoma line, because... let me look at Ronkonkoma first. Then we'll go to Port Jefferson to wrap this up. Okay. Here we go. Now, on the peak, here's the catch. The peak, Central Islip, for an example, 729, 759, 829, yep. That's eastbound. What about westbound? Checking westbound for an example. Yeah, see that? You have 507, 515, 532, and then there's a huge gap in service on the peak. You normally would get half-hourly service at Central Islip. On the peak. Then let me take a look at the, Riverhead, Yaphank, Greenport. So, yeah, look at this. Stations like Medford don't even get that much service. Wow. Look at that. Same with westbound. All the way from Greenpoint. Okay, let's wrap this up with the Port Jefferson branch and show you why Mineola and Hicksville is getting the most amount of service. So, you see here, Mineola, let's go to a reasonable time. Let's go to... let's say the morning rush. Let's go to around 6 a.m. Alright. 6 a.m. Right here in Mineola. Look how much service Mineola is getting, for an example. Hang on, I see a gap. 10:13. Oh, okay, here we go. 10:13. Then you have 10:45. 11:13, 11:17, 11:45, 12:13, 12:45, 1:13, 1:17. Again, I am shocked. I am completely shocked. Look how much service Mineola is getting, for an example. 213, 245, 310, 313, 316. I mean, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. How much service Mineola is getting. Mineola is getting so much service. This is really incredible. Why is Mineola, for an example, getting all this service? It's incredible. In fact, Hicksville, for an example. Hicksville. Yeah, see, Hicksville's getting so much service. 503, 527, 611, 641, 658, 723, 754, 758, 823, 854, 858, 923. I mean, go on and on and on. I mean, this is just... It's amazing how much service Hicksville's getting, too. Hicksville's getting a lot of service. It's incredible. It really is. But yet, if I want to leave from New Hyde Park and go to Cobb Place, I'd have to wait from 11:41. So, honestly, I hate to say it, but if I was reinstated and I had the free day, I would have to go to Cobb Place more often. Hate to say it. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking my walk to Mineola along Old Country Road. I mean, I've done it, so I can handle it. In fact, again, my friend literally basically lives right off Old Country. So, that's how familiar I am with the walk. Incredible. Just incredible. Yep. 11:24. So, it really wouldn't be a bad wait. I mean, I could wait. Let me see what time I would wait. Right, see, here's LIJ. 10:46. Yeah, I mean, it would give me plenty of time to just wait at New Hyde Park and look at the new amenities. So I've been desperate to see it, so... Okay. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video, but again, there's a lot of changes that are happening for the bad in terms of the Port Washington, Long Beach, and Babylon lines. And even the Oyster Bay branch. A lot of changes are happening for the bad, I think. I mean, it's just awful that I have to talk about these service cuts. But, you know, I'm, again, going to reach out to my elected officials on Monday. And, you know, believe me, I'm not happy for anybody in Long Island that has to deal with this. Especially how in my circumstance, if, you know, let's say, because it's not going to happen, I'm going to get reinstated, but if I got reinstated and I had the free day, and I was back to a normal schedule, I mean, I don't know what I would do. I would have to go to the middle of the island more often. I would. I mean, I would rather wait. I mean, even Port Washington, for an example. Like, if I were to go to Port Washington and go to Geno's, I mean, I could do that. That wouldn't be an issue. But then I'd have to really monitor my time and figure out the westbound train to Great Neck so I can get the N25 south. Back in the New Hyde Park and get the 46. So, with that being all said, I'm going to wrap this all up. So thank you all for watching, and I really hope that these cuts can be avoided, but if not, I'm going to have to really monitor my 2 minutes on March 15th and tell Pat Foy how I feel about this. So thank you all for watching, and until the next one, please take care.